Morning guys, I'm Dave Canterbury with the Pathfinder School. What I wanted to do this morning was I wanted to discuss or evaluate a prototype device that a friend of mine is developing. The same gentleman who made the DF4 figure 4 trap is working on a distillation or desalination type device. He's made a couple different prototypes, one of them a little larger and non-collapsible, but I'm pretty fond of the way that it looks and works because it will fit into a regular water bottle holder. It would just be one extra piece that you'd have to carry, especially if you were in a saltwater type environment where desalination may be important. But a distillation device can do lots of things for you. It not only can desalinate water, but it can also separate things like volatile oils in herbs and plants and things like that using a steam distillation process. So a device like this for long term can be a very important item to have, and this one's made out of stainless steel, so it's very, very robust. I've got a groundwater source here beside me that is pretty nasty and dirty. I could filter this water and boil it and drink it that way and it would be fine, but I may not get all of the particulates out of the water and it may still be cloudy. With a distillation process, the water that's in this hole now that is green and dingy looking, that my dog just ran through and is all draining from upland areas, I can run it through this distillation device and it should be crystal clear distilled water at the other end. Now it takes a lot longer to distill water than it does to boil it because you have to boil it and then collect the steam in the distillation process. So it's a much longer process, takes more wood and things like that, to more resources, in other words, to be able to recreate that process or make that happen. But in the end, you have nice, clean, distilled water if you need that for a certain purpose, or if you're trying to separate salt from the water, or again, if you're trying to separate volatile oils and things like that from plants to use for certain medicinal value or properties. So we're going to collect some of this up today and start a small fire over here, and I'm going to show you how this thing works. Stay with me, guys. Okay, so once we have our initial 32-ounce bottle of water in the fire and on the boil, we can then set things up. And the desalination device or the distillation device is very simple. It's made of two chambers that are actually cups with a tube through the inside and an outlet tube here, and a tube that you plug into that outlet tube to drain your water into your catchment device, just like this. So what you're going to do is you're going to place this on top like that in the end. Your catchment device can be anything. In this case, I'm going to use a bush pot to collect my water. So I'm going to set it off to the side, and I'm going to put my distillation device on top of my bottle like that. Then I'm going to take a cooling chamber, which is just a cup of unprocessed water, and set it on top. Now you'll want to make sure that this thing is good and secure. It's not going to fall over on you while you're doing this. So basically what we have now is we have three chambers. We have a chamber at the bottom that holds our water. We have a chamber here that traps the steam that's sealed by our top chamber or vessel that has cold water in it as a cooling chamber. And our water should travel down this tube once it begins to boil and steam well and drain into our catchment device. Now we just have to sit and wait and make sure everything's secure. You can see I've laid a couple large sticks in there in between things just to kind of support that and hold it up. Rocks, logs, anything like that would work as well. But you definitely don't want that chamber and stuff to tip over during the process. Right now this device is putting out about about a drop every second and a half. Pretty close estimate. The guy who invented it tells me it will do about 8 ounces every half hour. It's a tedious process, but in a situation where you had to desalinate your water to make it safe to drink, it's probably a fairly small price to pay. If I were using this for medicinal purposes to distill volatile oils and things like that, or extract the working components of different plants, barks, and roots, again, it would be time well spent. This thing folds up pretty small. Like I said, it's got one tube hanging off of it that pops off. You can put the whole thing into any water bottle pouch that you can buy that fits a 32-ounce bottle. It's just one extra piece of gear to carry if you are in a situation where you may be around salt water or you're doing something with medicinal plants. And it doesn't weigh very much because it weighs about what 2 of the normal GSI cups weigh. It's a very, very good device that he's invented. He's working on a device now that is collapsible, that will all fit down into one nesting cup. He's going to send me a prototype of that when he's finished. But to be honest with you, I don't like moving parts. So something like this that only has one tube I have to connect and everything else is solid welded together, I'm pretty fond of that, because if I'm going to carry this thing, that means I'm probably going to use it, and I want it to last. Well guys, I appreciate you joining me for this video today, and we'll go over these components one last time real quick. But since you've taken the time to watch this video, I really appreciate your views and support. I will let you know that the reason I have not been posting as many videos lately as normal is because I am filming a new television series for a major television network. It is a 10-episode first season series, and we are a little less than halfway through with that at this point. I will be leaving again next week for more filming as soon as my basic class here at the Pathfinder School is over. But I wanted to get this video in. So let's talk about, real quick, the components again real fast and give you a little bit better view. Of course, we used our water bottle and our cup, and that was our chamber for our water and our cooling chamber for the top. And then we just used our bush pot as a catchment device. The distillation device, or the desalination chamber itself, is basically 2 stainless steel cups with a tube welded inside, and then an escape tube here with a metal tube that slides up inside that. And this tube actually goes right down inside here when it's stored in the pouch. So you basically have the same thing here as far as length goes as you have in a 32-ounce water bottle and cup. So you could store this in a separate water bottle carrier if you were going to use this device longer term. To me, that's a small price to pay. It doesn't hardly weigh anything, and you could put other things in the front of that pouch as well. So I wanted to give you a quick look at that today. I told the guy at DF4 that I was going to do this video and kind of just do an experimentation with it. I hadn't used it yet, and I wanted to see what the output really looked like. Guys, I appreciate your views. I appreciate your support. I thank you for everything you do for our school, for our family, and for our business. I'll be back with another video just as soon as I can. Thanks, guys.